Welcome to our channel History of Coins, where we explore the hidden gems of numismatics. In today's video, we're diving into the fascinating world of rare quarter-dollar coins, cause some of these coins hold an incredible history, and some are worth millions. So today, we are gonna uncover the rarest varieties and their values. So make sure to watch the complete video and find out if you have one of these. Now let's continue our today's video. On top one today, we're going to talk about a piece of American history that could make you a lot richer than you ever imagined. We're diving deep into the 1965 United States quarter dollar, a coin that may seem ordinary at first glance, but it holds an extraordinary secret, one that could make it worth thousands of dollars. Stick around because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly how much this coin is worth and how to tell if you found one that could change your life. Let's start with some context. The year 1965 was a pivotal one in American history. The country was in the midst of social upheaval, with the civil rights movement in full swing and the Vietnam War escalating. On the economic front, things were changing rapidly, and this was reflected in the coins being produced at the time. The U.S. Mint was facing rising costs for silver, which ultimately led to a major shift in how the country's coins were made. Before 1965, U.S. quarters were made from 90% silver and 10% copper. However, in 1965, due to the increasing cost of silver, the U.S. Mint decided to change the composition of the quarter. Instead of using silver, the new quarters were made from a copper-nickel-clad composition. This would mark the beginning of a new era for U.S. currency. But here's where things get interesting. Some 1965 quarters were mistakenly struck with the old, silver-based composition. These silver quarters are extremely rare and highly sought after by collectors, making them worth far more than you might expect. So, what's the story behind this rare coin? Essentially, the 1965 silver quarters were a result of a mix-up at the U.S. Mint during the transition to the new copper-nickel composition. Most of the 1965 quarters were produced with the new, cheaper metal, but a small number were struck with the older silver composition, which made them much more valuable. These silver quarters are often referred to as the 1965 silver quarter era, and they're the coins collectors are after. Now, let's talk about the details of the 1965 quarter. On the obverse side, you'll find the classic image of George Washington, designed by John Flanagan. This depiction of Washington, which has been featured on the quarter since 1932, shows the first president of the United States facing left. The words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" appear above and below the portrait, respectively. The reverse side features an eagle, which was used to symbolize strength and freedom for the United States. The words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar surround the eagle, signifying the coin's denomination. So, how do you tell if you have one of these rare silver 1965 quarters? It's actually quite simple. You'll want to check the coin's composition. Regular 1965 quarters, made with the copper-nickel clad, weigh 5.67 grams. But the silver version weighs 6.25 grams, making it slightly heavier. If you have a coin and you're not sure of its composition, you can weigh it with a precise scale to check the weight. If it's heavier, congratulations, you may have found a silver quarter from 1965. But there's more to the story. The value of these rare silver 1965 quarters isn't just about their silver content. It's also about their condition. Coins that have been in circulation for decades often suffer from wear and tear. This can impact their value, especially when it comes to coins with historical significance. A well-preserved 1965 silver quarter, especially one with minimal signs of wear, can fetch significantly more than a heavily circulated one. Coins in pristine condition are highly prized by collectors because they offer a glimpse into the past, preserved in almost the same condition as the day they were minted. Now, let's get to the exciting part, the value. If you have a 1965 silver quarter in great condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth $77,000. Yes, that's right, $77,000 for a single quarter. That's more than what most people earn in a year. All for a small piece of history that was once in your pocket change. Imagine stumbling across a rare coin like this. It's the kind of find that could change your life. So, how do you go about finding one of these valuable silver 1965 quarters? First, take a close look at your quarters from this year. Look for the weight difference and pay attention to the condition of the coin. If you happen to find a silver 1965 quarter, don't just toss it aside. Get it professionally graded. A coin expert can confirm whether the coin is a silver variety and give you an official grade based on its condition. The higher the grade, the more valuable the coin will be in the market. A perfectly preserved coin could command a price much higher than one that's seen a lot of wear. If you happen to find a 1965 silver quarter in your collection or during a coin hunt, it's important to act fast. These coins are extremely rare, and they don't come around often. Whether you decide to hold on to it as a valuable investment or sell it to a collector, know that this small piece of history could be worth a small fortune. Now, if you're thinking that the 1965 silver quarter sounds too good to be true, don't worry. The world of rare coins is full of hidden treasures like this, and with a little research and care, you too could uncover a rare find. The key is knowing what to look for and being patient enough to spot those valuable errors or unique features that make a coin stand out. In conclusion, the 1965 United States quarter dollar, with its accidental silver composition, is a rare and valuable coin that collectors are actively seeking. If you have one of these coins in great condition, it could be worth a staggering $77,000. So, next time you're going through your spare change or coin collection, take a close look at those 1965 quarters. You just might have a hidden treasure on your hands. On top two, we have something truly exciting to talk about. A coin that could have been sitting in your pocket, jar, or collection, worth far more than you could imagine. We're diving into the 1967 United States quarter dollar, a coin that might seem like a simple piece of currency, but it holds a secret, an incredibly rare feature that makes it worth a small fortune. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you're going to be just as excited as I am about this hidden gem in American coinage. Let's set the stage. The year 1967 was a significant one in U.S. history. The country was in the midst of the turbulent 60s, a decade of change, social movements, and historical events. On the domestic front, the United States was actively dealing with the civil rights movement, the Vietnam War, and technological innovations. The space race was in full swing, and America was constantly moving forward in ways that would shape its future. During this transformative year, the U.S. Mint was producing coins as usual, including the quarter dollar, which was struck in large quantities for circulation. The 1967 quarter, like all quarters of that time, features the portrait of George Washington on the obverse, his classic profile, facing left, with the words "Liberty" above and "In God We Trust" below. Washington has graced the quarter since 1932, and the coin's design is one of the most recognizable in U.S. history. On the reverse, the quarter displays the proud American eagle, symbolizing strength, unity, and freedom. Surrounding the eagle are the words United States of America, E pluribus unum, and quarter dollar, indicating the coin's value. But while these features remain consistent, there's something truly extraordinary about certain 1967 quarters. Most people don't know this, but there was a small number of these coins that have a rare minting error, one that makes them incredibly valuable today. It's a mistake that happened during production, resulting in a coin that's highly sought after by collectors. So, what's the error that makes the 1967 quarter stand out from all the others? It's known as the 1967 silver quarter error. To understand this, we need to go back a little in time. In 1965, the U.S. Mint changed the composition of the quarter from 90% silver to a copper-nickel-clad composition. The intention was to make the coins cheaper to produce due to the rising cost of silver. However, in 1967, the U.S. Mint accidentally struck a small number of quarters that still contained silver, despite the switch in composition. These silver quarters are much rarer than their copper-nickel counterparts, and they are the ones that coin collectors and investors are hunting for today. Now, you might be wondering, how can I tell if my 1967 quarter is one of these rare silver coins? Well, here's the trick. You can check the weight of the coin. A standard 1967 quarter weighs 5.67 grams, but the silver quarters weigh about 6.25 grams, making them a little heavier. The difference is subtle, but it's important. You can use a scale to check the weight of your quarter. If it's a little heavier than the standard, you might just have a silver coin on your hands. But that's not all. Condition is key. Most of these silver quarters were in circulation for many years, which means many of them show signs of wear and tear. However, if you happen to have a well-preserved 1967 silver quarter in excellent condition, it becomes even more valuable. The cleaner and more intact the coin is, the more collectors are willing to pay for it. Coins in near-perfect condition are considered more desirable and can fetch higher prices. So, what's the value of a 1967 silver quarter? If you've got one of these rare coins in top-notch condition, it could be worth an astounding $75,000. That's right, $75,000 for a single quarter. Imagine discovering one of these coins in your collection or in your spare change. It could completely change your life, and all from a coin that you never thought twice about. It's amazing to think that a mistake made at the US Mint could turn a simple quarter into a treasure worth thousands of dollars. But that's the beauty of coin collecting. Sometimes, rare finds can be hidden right under your nose. And if you're diligent enough to check your coins carefully, you might just stumble upon something that's worth more than you ever expected. If you think you found one of these rare silver quarters, it's important to get it professionally graded by an expert. Coin graders can confirm the authenticity of the silver content and assess the coin's condition. The higher the grade, the more you can expect to sell it for. A coin that's been carefully stored and preserved will always fetch more than one that's been damaged over time. Now, you might be thinking, well, what if my coin isn't silver but just a regular 1967 quarter? Don't worry, while the non-silver versions of the 1967 quarter are not nearly as valuable, they still carry historical significance. Collectors often seek out these coins simply because they're part of the broader story of U.S. coinage. While they won't make you thousands of dollars, they still add value to your collection over time. To recap, if you've got a 1967 quarter that is part of the rare silver minting era, you could be holding a coin worth a staggering $75,000. It's truly incredible how a small mistake in production can lead to a valuable collector's item. So, next time you're going through your coins, take a closer look at your 1967 quarters. You might just have a silver treasure waiting to be discovered. On top 3, we have a coin story that will definitely surprise you. Now, when most people think about quarters, they probably don't think much beyond its everyday use. After all, it's a coin that you toss into your pocket change without a second thought. But what if I told you that a 1970 United States quarter could be worth more than your car? Sounds unbelievable, right? Well, stick around because by the end of this video, I'll reveal how this unassuming coin could be worth an eye-popping amount of money. Trust me, you'll want to hear this. Let's rewind to 1970, a pivotal year in U.S. history. The country was in the midst of cultural shifts, from political movements to technological advances. The Vietnam War was still ongoing, and the nation was deeply impacted by its effects. Meanwhile, on the domestic front, the U.S. Mint was hard at work producing coins that would circulate for years to come, one of which was the 1970 quarter. This coin, which originally seemed like any other, has turned into a rare and valuable treasure. If you're familiar with the design of the U.S. quarter, you'll notice that the 1970 quarter features the familiar image of George Washington on the front. This portrait of America's first president, designed by John Flanagan, has been featured on the quarter for decades, and it remains one of the most recognized images in U.S. coinage. Along with Washington's likeness, the words "Liberty" and "In God We Trust" adorn the coin, along with the year of minting, 1970. On the reverse side, we find the iconic American bald eagle perched proudly, with its wings spread wide. The words "United States of America" and "E Pluribus Unum" encircle the eagle, along with the inscription "quarter dollar" to indicate the coin's value. It's a design that's remained largely unchanged since the coin was first introduced, symbolizing the enduring strength and unity of the country. So, why is the 1970 quarter suddenly so valuable? After all, hundreds of millions of these coins were minted and circulated in 1970. The answer lies in a rare and unique error that occurred during the production process. This error, known as the 1970 D/D variety, involves a double mint mark that makes this quarter highly collectible. Let me explain what that means. You see, the U.S. Mint uses a mint mark to identify which facility produced a coin. For the 1970 quarter, the mint mark should have been a simple D for Denver, as the coin was struck at the Denver Mint. However, a small number of 1970 quarters have been discovered with a D/D mint mark, meaning that two Ds were stamped onto the coin due to a misalignment in the minting process. This error creates a noticeable double mint mark, making these particular coins exceedingly rare, but rarity alone doesn't explain why these quarters are worth so much. It's the condition of the coin that really increases its value. In coin collecting, we always talk about the importance of condition, and for a 1970 quarter with a double mint mark, the better the condition, the more valuable it becomes. Coins that were in circulation over the years have been worn down by time, meaning the details on the coin may be blurred or faded. However, if you're lucky enough to find one of these rare 1970 D/D quarters in exceptional condition, especially if it's uncirculated, then you've struck gold. Now, here's the exciting part. If you've got a 1970 quarter with the double mint mark error in excellent condition, it could be worth an astounding $68,000. Yes, you heard that correctly. $68,000 for a single quarter. That's more than a car, more than a vacation home, and certainly more than what most of us would ever expect to get for a coin that was once in your change. Imagine the excitement of finding one of these rare coins in your collection or even in your spare change. It's one of those you won't believe it until you see it moments, and it's proof of how a simple mistake during the minting process can make a coin worth a small fortune. So, how do you know if you've got a 1970 D/D quarter? Start by carefully examining the mint mark on the coin. You should look at the D located on the reverse side of the quarter. If you see a noticeable double mint mark, you could be looking at a coin that's worth thousands. It's a subtle error, so you'll want to check carefully, preferably under good lighting or with a magnifying tool. If the double mint mark is visible and well-defined, then you've got a rare find on your hands. But remember, the condition of the coin is critical. If the coin has been heavily worn or damaged over the years, it will still be worth something, but the value will be far less than one in pristine condition. Coins with little to no wear, especially those with sharp, clear details, fetch the highest prices in the market. If you think you might have one of these 1970 D/D quarters, it's always a good idea to have it professionally graded by a numismatist. Experts can confirm the authenticity of the error and assess the coin's grade, helping you understand its true value. The higher the grade, the more you can expect to sell it for, sometimes for tens of thousands of dollars. So, let's recap. The 1970 quarter is a special coin because of a rare minting error, the double D mint mark. And if you're lucky enough to have one in excellent condition, you could be sitting on a coin worth $68,000. It's proof that coin collecting can be more than just a hobby. It can be an investment, a way to find hidden treasures that could change your life. On top 4, we've got an incredible story about a penny that could be sitting in your collection or even in your spare change right now. An ordinary 1-cent coin from 1971. While it may look like just another penny, there's a secret behind this particular coin that could make it worth far more than you'd ever expect. Stick around, because by the end of this video, you'll be shocked by how much a 1971 1-cent coin could be worth. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny, right? Well, hold on tight, because this 1971 penny has a fascinating backstory and some truly valuable qualities that make it stand out in the world of numismatics. Unlike most pennies you come across, the 1971 1-cent coin carries some unique characteristics that have made it a collector's dream. There are a number of factors at play that have caused this coin to jump in value in recent years, and we're going to break it all down for you today. First, let's talk about the history behind this particular coin. The 1971 penny was minted during a significant time in the history of the United States. In fact, this was the year when the U.S. Mint switched up the way it made pennies. Prior to 1971, pennies were made primarily from a mix of copper and other metals. But in 1971, the mint began using a new method to produce the coins, which involved a more specific alloy composition. As you can imagine, these types of changes can have a big impact on the way coins are made, and also on their value in the future. Now, while most of the 1971 pennies were produced with the usual copper composition, it's the ones from this period that have minting errors or special features that have made them so desirable to collectors. You see, as with most coin production years, there were some mistakes made during the minting process that have led to coins with rare characteristics. Some of these 1971 pennies were struck with errors like double die strikes or off-center strikes, which are both considered highly valuable in the numismatic world. If you don't know what a double die strike is, let me explain. It's a type of minting error that occurs when the coin's design is struck more than once, causing a double image to appear. On a 1971 penny, this could mean that the date, the letters, or even Lincoln's portrait might appear with a second set of outlines, making the coin appear as if it's been doubled. These errors are incredibly rare and highly sought after by collectors because they make the coin stand out from the rest. Even a small double die error can drastically increase the value of the coin. But that's not all. Another key error that has made some 1971 pennies so valuable is the off-center strike. This happens when the coin isn't perfectly aligned during the minting process, resulting in a coin with part of the design missing or misaligned. Off-center pennies are fascinating to collectors because they're so unique. If you find a 1971 penny that has a noticeable off-center strike, it could be worth a lot more than just 1 cent now. Let's move on to the condition of the coin, because that plays a huge role in determining its value as well. As you can imagine, most pennies that were minted in 1971 have gone through years of circulation and have been worn down by the hands of time. However, if you happen to find a 1971 penny that's in pristine, uncirculated condition, it automatically becomes much more valuable. Coins that have been carefully preserved, without any visible wear, scratches, or discoloration, are considered highly valuable by collectors, and they tend to fetch much higher prices on the market. So, you might be wondering, how much can one of these rare 1971 pennies actually be worth? Well, it's hard to believe, but the most valuable 1971 penny ever sold at auction recently went for an astounding $73,000. Yes, you heard that right, $73,000 for a single penny. For a coin that was once just part of your loose change, this is an incredible amount of money. It's proof that, in the world of rare coins, anything is possible. Whether it's a unique error, an uncirculated specimen, or a combination of factors, a simple penny from 1971 can hold a value that's truly jaw-dropping. So, what does this mean for you? If you happen to have a 1971 penny, it's definitely worth taking a closer look. Check for any of the minting errors we mentioned. Look for double die strikes or off-center designs. And don't forget to check the condition of your coin. Even if your 1971 penny doesn't have an error, a well-preserved, uncirculated example could still fetch a nice price in the market. The next time you go through your old coin collection or dig through some spare change, don't just pass by those 1971 pennies. They could be worth far more than you think, and you could be holding on to a hidden treasure without even knowing it. We hope this video has inspired you to take a second look at your coins, especially the ones from the 1970s. On top 5, we've got something special for you. A coin that's not just a piece of American currency, but a valuable relic from the past that could be worth an absolute fortune. Yes, we're talking about the 1979 United States quarter dollar, a coin that might just be hiding in your pocket change and could make you a pretty penny, or even more. Stick around, because by the end of this video, we're going to reveal how much this unassuming quarter could be worth today. Let's set the stage. 1979 was a significant year in American history. The country was in the midst of the late 70s economic challenges, including high inflation and oil crises. But it was also a time of cultural shifts, with people pushing for social change, technological progress, and, of course, the start of a new era in American coinage. The 1979 quarter, which was part of the standard circulating coinage, wasn't expected to be anything extraordinary back then. In fact, most of them went into circulation, spent decades in people's pockets, and were eventually retired. But little did people know, a small fraction of these quarters would end up being some of the most coveted and valuable coins in the world. Now, let's take a closer look at the coin itself. On the front of the 1979 quarter, we have the iconic image of George Washington, the first president of the United States. His profile, crafted by the renowned sculptor John Flanagan, has been featured on the quarter since 1932 and is a symbol of leadership, strength, and American history. The inscription "Liberty" proudly adorns the top, while "In God We Trust" is featured below George Washington's portrait, alongside the year of mintage. In this case, 1979. On the reverse side, we see a majestic eagle perched on a branch, with the words "United States of America" and "E pluribus unum," meaning "out of many, one," displayed above and below it. Surrounding the eagle are the words "quarter dollar," signifying the coin's value. This reverse design has remained largely unchanged for decades, a testament to the strength and continuity of the U.S. Mint's traditions. So, what makes the 1979 quarter so valuable? Well, it all comes down to a rare minting error. While most 1979 quarters were minted in the usual way and didn't hold much interest for collectors, a small number were struck with a fascinating error. These quarters were produced with what is called a double die, an error that occurs during the minting process when the die used to stamp the coin is misaligned. This leads to a doubling effect, where certain features of the coin, such as the date or the inscriptions, appear to be doubled. This slight but significant flaw can make all the difference in the value of the coin. Double die errors on coins are highly sought after by collectors because they're unique, and they make the coin more interesting and rare. Coins with this kind of error stand out from the mass-produced versions and become prized possessions in the world of numismatics. For the 1979 quarter, these double die coins are exceedingly rare, and finding one in good condition is like striking gold. Now, you might be wondering, how much could a 1979 quarter with a double die error be worth? Well, get ready for this. Depending on the condition of the coin and the severity of the error, a 1979 quarter can fetch anywhere from a few $100s to a jaw-dropping amount of $55,000. Yes, you heard that right. $55,000 for a single quarter. Imagine having one of these rare quarters tucked away in your collection, or even better, finding one in your change jar. That's the beauty of coin collecting. The treasure is out there waiting to be discovered, and sometimes, the most unexpected coins can be worth the most if you're lucky enough to come across a 1979 quarter with a double die error. It's important to get it evaluated by a professional. Experts can help you determine the authenticity of the error, and if it's in excellent condition, you could be holding a coin that's worth thousands of dollars more than you initially thought. But don't be discouraged if you don't think you have a 1979 quarter with a double die error just lying around. It's always worth checking the quarters in your collection, as you might be sitting on a potential gold mine without even realizing it. And if you don't have one, keep your eyes peeled the next time you're handling change. You never know when that rare coin might pop up. So, to recap, those 1979 quarters might seem like just another piece of pocket change. But if you're fortunate enough to find one with the double die error, it could be worth up to $55,000. It's incredible how a simple mistake during minting can turn a coin into a valuable piece of history. That's all for today's coin adventure, folks. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you never miss out on future coin discoveries. We've got more exciting finds coming your way, so stay tuned and happy collecting.